I almost forgot about this today, but here's chapter 6 of The Puppy Place, Goldie. Chapter 6. So when we went up back upstairs to see the table, there was Goldie sitting in the middle of a huge pile of shredded paper. Charles laughed, remembering the "what did I do" look on Goldie's face when he and Lizzie came into the room. Goldie had destroyed every single one of the signs they had made, but it didn't feel right to yell at her, and Lizzie said there was no point in punishing her over the fact. Charles was telling the story during sharing circle time at the school during the next morning. He usually told riddles or knock-knock jokes, but this story was too good to keep to himself. Everyone was laughing. Mr. Mason laughed the loudest. Oh, God! I should not be sitting next to a fan. That's my mom borrowed a crate from her friend, Charles went on. You mean like a cage? asked Mary. That's horrible. Oh, she's a puppy. She's not an animal at the zoo. Charles shook his head. A crate is different from a cage. It's a place where Goldie can feel safe. It's sort of like a little cave. And it's more fair to her this way. So she wanted the chance to destroy things when we're not there to watch her, and we wanted to get mad or punish her. Charles was trying to remember all the things Lizzie had told him about using a crate to train a puppy. He didn't tell Mary that he'd thought the same thing, that it looked like a cage when he first saw it. When he saw Goldie walk in on her own and snuggle inside the blankets they put inside, he understood. Plus it would help with housebreaking since puppies don't like to make a mess in the same place where they sleep. But Charles didn't really like to bring that up at Sharon's circle. Ben would just make a joke about puppy poo and all the children would start giggling. Goldie is really smart, Charles went on. He was using more than his fair share of time, but he couldn't help it. She knows her name. She knows when to come to you when you call her. But what if her family gives her a new name? Brianna asked. Charles frowned. He did not want to think about Goldie going to a new family. Lizzie had printed up another batch of signs, and he and his dad had gone out after supper to put them around town, but Charles hoped that nobody would notice them. I have a feeling that Goldie's name suits her perfectly, said Mr. Mason. I think she'll keep it. That Charles smiled. It is the perfect name, he said. Once we got her cleaned up from the fire, her coat was really golden. Yeah, 'cause she's a golden retriever. Why do you think they have golden in the name? Anyways, back to the story. Charles looked up at the clock. It was only 9:30. How is he going to stand waiting until 2:30 to see Goldie again? He wished he could be hugging her right at that minute. Goldie sounds like a terrific pup, Charles, said Mr. Mason. Thanks for telling us about her. Does anyone else have something you would like to share? Sammy? What about you? Sammy was looking down at his hands. Nope, he said. That was strange. Sammy always had something to share, even if it was totally made up, like the time he told about purple space aliens hiding in his backyard. So how's your dog? His name is Rufus, right? Mr. Mason asked. Sammy nodded. Then suddenly, Charles knew why Sammy was sad. Hearing about Goldie probably made Sammy feel even worse about Rufus getting so old and slow and boring. Has Rufus met Goldie yet? Asked Mr. Mason. Sammy shook his head. Just then, Charles had a great idea. Hey, he said, even though it wasn't his turn to talk. Goldie needs to meet her dogs. It's called socialization, guessed Mr. Mason. That's it! Charles was excited. It means it's good for her to make friends. At recess, Sammy and Charles made plans for Goldie and Rufus to play after school. By the end of the day, Sammy seemed excited too. As soon as he got home from school, Charles and Lizzie brought Goldie into the little fenced-in park on the corner. Sammy met them there with Rufus. We will have to let them start slowly, said Lizzie. She had been reading all about socializing dogs. They were meeting at the park instead of one in their yards. Lizzie's book said it was important for the first meeting to happen in a place where neither dog was in charge. Hey, Rufus, Charles said. How's the big guy? Rufus wagged his tail when he saw Charles. He didn't seem to notice the new puppy. Charles was holding Goldie in his arms. She struggled to get down. Do you think Rufus is ready? He asked Sammy. Sammy had Rufus on a leash as Rufus sat down next to him. Sure, said Sammy. Let's see what happens when you put her down. Keep them both on their leashes, Lizzie said, as Charles put Goldie on the ground. Now let's let Rufus come over and sniff Goldie. He probably won't even get up, Sammy started to say. Just then, Rufus jumped to his feet and pulled Sammy off the balance. Hey! Rufus was heading straight for Goldie, but the little pup didn't seem at all scared. She pulled Charles off of balance, too. The two dogs charged for each other. Uh-oh, said Sammy. Dog fight. But the dogs did not fight. They played. Goldie bowed with her front paws stretched out. She looked at Rufus with an expression that said, chase me, and Rufus did. When Goldie dashed off towards the swings, Rufus dashed off after her, dragging the leash that Sammy had dropped behind him. When he caught her, they tussled for a few minutes. Goldie bit at the big dog's legs like Rufus batted at the puppy's head with a soft, furry paw. Then Goldie took off running, and Rufus chased her on the seesaws. Goldie loved playing with Rufus. She ran and rolled and tumbled. What a happy day! What a great new friend! Look at Rufus go, said Sammy with a laugh. That's the most running he's done in a month. He sure looks happy, Charles said. Charles looked at Sammy and thought he looked happy too. It's all about the socialization, Lizzie said smugly. They all laughed as Rufus rolled over and let Goldie pounce on his belly. Just then Dad came jogging down the street. Charles, Lizzie, he called, you need to bring Goldie home. Some people saw the sign and they might want to adopt her. They're coming over right now.